Hello, guys. Welcome to my 22nd live stream. Today is June 2nd. How is everyone tonight? Let's see. I hope the volume is all good. And yeah, hey, Epic. He says, hey, Brian, congrats to your brother, bro. And I replied back to him earlier. Yeah, it's crazy. My brother is engaged, and I'm really happy for him. Let's see. Hey, Dan. He says, hey, guys. Hey, Dan. Glad you guys made it to my can't believe it. 22 streams, live streams now. Um, I don't. Oh, sorry. I had the window open and someone in the neighborhood just honked the horn. Not sure what happened, but yeah. So my live stream, I want to cover over episode 1 and episode 2 of season 3 of the Telltale game, A New Frontier. All right, so let's see. Let's begin, shall we? So I remember watching Dan's videos earlier today, and actually not long ago, and he actually likes episode 1 and 2 of season 3 so far. So um, I hope that, in a way, I hope that he likes the rest of the season. But I'm kind of nervous, or I kind of doubt it because just the rest of the season is just it's probably not as good as the first 2 episodes. But episode 3 has, I suppose, some good moments. Um, let's see. So yeah, so I don't like how in season 3, obviously, they made Javier the main character instead of Clementine. That was kind of a mistake. And I don't know, it's just weird. So, like, so in flashback, when we see Gabe and he's like, I think 10 years old or so, uh, it's kind of weird that he sounds so off. Like, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Gabe sounded very off in the flashback or like at the beginning of the apocalypse? You know what I mean? Because like it sounds like the exact same voice actor, but it shouldn't. You know, he should sound like a young kid. So let's see. Oh, hey Dan. Um, let's see. Dan says I like the first 2 episodes, but I have a feeling that's about to change. It kind of is, Dan. I will say episode 3 has a lot of good moments, but I think one of the things you're going to notice about season 3 is the choices don't matter, like big time. So when you make a choice, like the outcome is the same whether or not you made the other choice or not. So that's a bit of an issue. By the way, the characters we meet in episode 1, the big guy who looks like Abraham, his name is Trip. The Asian woman who kind of is like the nurse lady, her name is Eleanor, and the bald black guy, that is in episode 1 and 2, and I kind of killed him in episode 2. His name is Conrad. So yeah, that's pretty much the characters. And then oh yeah, Javier's niece is Mariana, and his nephew is Gabe, um, and his sister-in-law is Kate. So yeah, so that's pretty much most of the cast for season 3. Um, so yeah, Dan, let me know what you think about all the characters. Like, do you like them, or because I remember in your review, you didn't talk too much about some of the other characters. Like, I don't think you mentioned Trip at all. Um, and as far as Gabe, I don't think you mentioned him too much either. Um, but okay, let's see. So we have the flashback with Javier, and um, my goodness, like David is like just not great, not a great way to start off the season as far as like the relationship with the 2 brothers. So this is weird. I actually thought that the guy that Javier's father bites, the other guy in the family in the house, was Javier's oldest brother, but it's actually his uncle, and he's like the much younger brother of his father. So I didn't know that. Let's see. Epic says, "Hey Brian, one thing I hated about season 3 was kill. Oh yeah, was killing Javier's niece and keeping annoying Gabe around. Yeah, exactly, Epic. Man, I'm so glad we can finally talk about this now because I don't have to worry about Dan being spoiled or something. But yeah, absolutely. Mariana, I did like Mariana a lot more than Gabe in episode 1, and I think that it would have been cool to see her survive. But um, and that guy Badger who killed her, like, he's still out there if Dan didn't know. But man, it's like um, just like who shoots like a little girl, like Arvo and that guy Badger, like, I mean, pure evil. But yeah, I like Mariana more than Gabe. Gabe is a bit annoying, but he does have some likable, traits to him. So he's not terrible, but he's not that great. Um, let's see. Dan says, yeah, like I was saying before, there's like no point of making decisions. Yeah, Dan. Unfortunately, they Telltale only says that you can make decisions because it's false advertising. They wanted to make money. They know that people are going to buy it to make decisions, but unfortunately, the decisions don't matter. So yeah, so let me get back to the episode. Um, so yeah, Javier comes back. He misses his father's death. I don't know what Javier was doing before, um, because I don't know. David, he was being very unfair. We didn't even get to know where Javier was. Was he at his job or something? Like, I don't know. It's just but yeah. So Javier's father turns into a walker, and he bites his own wife. So they decide to take her to the hospital, and uh, yeah, and they cut the scene, and oh yeah, they do this like 4 year later time skip, and this is actually completely inaccurate, and I'll say why. Um, like right now, this picture that I took, there's no way, or in the thumbnail, there's no way Javier and Clementine, there's no way they meet 4 years in the apocalypse, exactly 4 years, because Clementine would be 12, and the writers, the Telltale, everyone, they confirmed that she's 13 now. So that doesn't make much sense. You can't go from 8 to 13 in 4 years. You can go. It's got to be a little bit more. It's got to be like 4 to 5. So that's already something they kind of messed up on timeline wise. So that's one thing also that bugs me about the season. Epic says, I will say I like Clem this season. I love how hardened and tough she is. Actually, Epic, that's something I kind of disagree with. But hear me out. Like in season one, when we got to raise Clementine as Lee, and then season two, where we got to play as her, I didn't like how, like Clementine, the way she was just like treating Javier. No matter what choice we made in the first two seasons, the way that she's cursing, the way that she shot that guy in the head, like just and doesn't even care. Like I'm sorry, but that's not Clementine. It's out of character, and it just feels like a completely different character. And yes, I know there was a 2 year time skip, but it just feels a little sloppy that like that Telltale made the same Clementine, in the beginning of season three. Like they couldn't have made just a few different versions. Like they couldn't have made one where she's a little bit not as hostile, to Javier the first time. Just that was just a small. It's a nitpick I have. It would have been nice to see our decisions matter. Like maybe one version Clementine curses, another version she doesn't. Another one where she's upset that if she kills people, another version she's not upset. You know what I mean? It's just I just didn't like how the decision in the first two seasons didn't seem to matter at all. Um, oh yeah, and by the way, like in my version, Clementine does not lose her finger. Um, but in Dan's version, she does, and yeah, that stinks. Let's see. Dan says, "Yeah, if you kill a little girl, you don't have a heart." Carol is part of that. To be fair, oh yeah, Dan. That's true. Um, but it's like, yeah, it is true. Carol has that as well. Um, but it is worse for Arvo and that guy Badger, because they did it like, and apparently like without regret or something. So, and they did it like it wasn't, like Carol did have a bit of a reason. Let's see. Epic says, yeah, I know. Season one, she was 8, then she turned 9. In episode 4 and 5, in season 2, she's 11, and season 3, she's 13. Yeah, exactly, Epic. But the beginning of episode 1, it said a 4 year time skip, for Javier and his family, and that's not accurate, because it had to have been a little bit more than 4 years. Dan says, I agree with Epic. I like season 3 Clem, but she needs to lead. Speaking of the same thing goes for Alicia and Fear. Yeah, exactly, Dan. Yeah, Clementine should definitely lead in season 3, but they wanted to focus on Javier and his family. Like I don't know, it's just season 3 feels like Fear to me. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just pretty odd. So let's get on more with the decision. So Okay, so oh yeah, so we go back in the van. Javier is with his sister-in-law, Kate, and they have some very weird discussions. You know what I mean, like pulling over, things like that. Um, they're siblings in law. You know what I mean? Like, did you guys when you guys played season three, did that feel off to you? You know what I mean? The first episode, how Kate was talking, and she was like, she pulled out a like marijuana cigarette and started smoking, offered it to Javier, and I said no, obviously, because I don't that like you know what I mean. I didn't want Javier to be that character. And then when Mariana wakes up, she's like, "I know you two do drugs," and I'm like, "Okay, come on, like Telltale, really? Like that's not fair. We I made that choice right then. Why couldn't you have established with my choice that Javier is not the one, or never smokes, marijuana? Just something like that. Um, it would have been nice, like some of our decisions actually mattering, because when she says like, "Oh, you, I know you smoke," it's like, excuse me, I choose not to. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, I just really like those little details mean a lot to me when it comes to choices. And I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a rant, but you know what I mean. It's just one of those things. So anyway, the characters stop at a junkyard, and Javier needs to get some gas, and Gabe is just, I don't know, he's acting a little bit weird. But like Mariana, she's really cool, and I don't know, I really like talking to Mariana. Like that was good. I like talking to her. And okay, so um, Okay, so we come to the part of the episode where we have to make a choice. So they find like this trailer, and it's filled with stuff, and they're like, okay, can we stay the night or go back on the road? And I chose to stay the night. But like I said, that decision doesn't matter. Whether or not you choose to stay the night in this place that might be someone else's home, it doesn't matter. Like that doesn't make sense to me. I just let me know what you guys think. I kind of hate that. You know what I mean? Our decisions should matter. It's just I don't know why. Okay, because that guy Max, the members of the New Frontier, basically the Saviors 2.0, they you know threaten Javier. They're looking for his family. Like I just hate that. Like the decision doesn't matter, and we run into these jerks. And I even tried to reason with them. I said, okay, I'm sorry, you can have this gas back, and they're like, oh, it's too late for that. It's like, you know what? And yeah, and I chose to kill that guy, Rufus. So, Dan, if you don't know, I also did that choice where after Javier escapes from the back of the that car, he pulls out the gun. He gets the gun, and that guy is trying to run, and I chose to shoot him as well. I chose to do that as well, and that's when I met Clementine. She pulled the gun right behind me, and yeah. Let's see. Epic says, like I said, it makes no sense for Javi to lead this. This is Clem's game series. She's supposed to be the main lead. That's probably why people hated the season. It's one of the reasons. Epic. Okay, so like Clementine not being the lead is one of the reasons why people hated season three. But it's not just that; it's the decisions don't really matter, and the episodes kind of get worse. Like episode 4 and 5 are terrible. Like episode 4 of this season is atrocious. Episode 3 is pretty good, but episode 5 is also pretty bad. Like it's just there's a lot of questions they leave, and it's a lot of problems, glitches too. Like there's glitches and issues. And this is like season 3, the way it was going, it made people like kind of quit Telltale, and it kind of resulted in them going out of business. Plus, there was a lot of rewrites with season 3. Like Javier was supposed to be the one. I think they were supposed to start it with Javier already has the. I'm just gonna say like Clementine was not supposed to have the New Frontier tattoo or whatever, um, but I'll get to that later. Um, Oh wait, Clem's game. She's supposed to. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Epic. Okay, so Dan says season 3 of the video game gives me season 4 of Fear vibes, but it's better than Fear. LOL. Um, yeah, Dan, it like Fear season 4. I don't know. Fear season 4 was like really good. When I look back at it, I mean the first half. I'm sorry. The first half was pretty good. They shouldn't have killed off Madison, but the first half of Fear season 4 was pretty good. Like I didn't despise it, you know what I mean? But then the second half was just so terrible. Epic says, um, My opinion, Max, one of the new Frontier person you meet, he's got a Merle Dixon vibe to me. Um, yeah, kind of. I guess you can say that, Epic, but I think Merle is like way cooler. Obviously, yeah, Merle is way cooler. Plus, he's probably tougher, Merle. All right, um, so yeah, I shot the driver. I met Clementine. Oh, by the way, Clementine. This is funny. So she said that she was trying to stop the car that Javier and that guy were in, and she had a tree collapse. Do you guys know how did Clementine make the tree collapse? Because right before Javier and that guy crashed their car, a tree fell down. So how did the tree fall down? Did Clementine cut it down? She had a shotgun, like or you know what I mean. So how did she? I don't get it. How did she do it? You know what I mean? Like she didn't have an axe or anything. That's also a small nitpick I had. You know what I mean? Uh, let's see. Yeah, if you guys can, like, I would love if you can answer. Um, all right. So, um, okay. Oh, yeah. By the way, okay. So, when I meet Clementine, I'm like very nice to her. I reason with her. She says that she doesn't trust people, and I tell her I understand that, and I get her to kind of trust me, and then we run to this community, Prescott, and we meet these new people like Trip, who's like an Abraham 2.0, Francine, who I got to be honest, this Francine is I don't know how, but they make her more likable than the Francine from the TV series. Like, do you guys even remember her? Like, I'm sorry, Francine from the show. Like, I don't know anything about her, but somehow I cared about this Francine even more. Like, that's one thing about season three that I'll give it. It had a better Francine, who was even though both Francines died, like, and there were minor characters, like, I think this one had a better version. Dan says the decisions don't matter. They might as well just turn season three into a TV series. It literally wouldn't make a difference. LOL. Yeah, exactly, Dan. The thing about season three is okay. So like, unlike season one and two, where you can have like different endings, season three doesn't really do that. I guess. Now, yes, you can choose to go with Clementine and fight the new frontier, or like go with your family, but both decisions don't really matter that much because if you choose to stay with Clementine, you just get knocked out and you go back to your family. But if you choose to, go with your family, then you just get to see how Kate was being treated for her gunshot wound. So that's pretty much it. Like, there's really is not much of a difference. Epic says, by the way, what they did with Jane and Kenny truly pathetic. Yeah, I agree, Epic. Like um like Dan, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm gonna say you were like if you saved either Jane or Kenny, like if you were with one of them, you would be very disappointed and probably very sad at what happens in season three. You know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna say that um, because if you want to find out, like if you want to look it up, what happens to Kenny and Jane if they survive season two, like you're really not gonna like it. That's yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Dan says Francine in the show was useless. Period. Yeah, I agree, Dan. She has to be one of the most useless characters, um, and it's not like the actress. Nope, she's pretty. No problems with the actress, but just how they used her. Like, what was the point of the character? Sasha got Holly's comic death, and Holly got killed by the wolves in JSS in season six, episode two. So, like, what was the point of Francine? Like, I just don't get it. She got saved by Abraham. She broke her knee or something, or not her knee. She like hurt her leg, and then that was it. Like, I just don't get the point. Epic says like the season had so much content, like the teaser back in 2016. None of that happened. Yeah, exactly. Like I think like Clementine and Javier was supposed to be together from the start, you know, but that just didn't really happen. And by the way, I'm just gonna say this right out there. Some people actually ship Javier and Clem, and it's so wrong on so many levels. I'm just gonna say that. It makes me very disgusted. I'm just gonna say that. Like some people actually made videos. It's just wrong on so many levels. Like that's all I'm gonna say. Just ugh. All right, so yeah, I shot the driver. We went to Prescott. Oh yeah, so Clementine got mad at that guy for she got mad at a guy because her bullets weren't working, and he gave like blanks or something, and then she just shoots him like an accident. She was just testing the bullets, you know what I mean? And she tells Javier to say like, "Hey, say what's in self defense because he pulled a knife on us." Um, and I chose to stick with Clem. I did not betray her. It's Clementine. Like, did they really think that we were gonna sell her out? Like, come on. But yeah, and Javier and Clem get put in this like weird cell. We meet Eleanor, who's like an Asian Rosita. I'm just gonna say that, and uh, and then Clementine goes to sleep, and we have the flashback. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but I find out what I see what happens to Jane if I save her in season two, and it just it makes me so angry, disappointed. What they do with Jane, or Kenny, depending on what happened. But yeah, let's see. Epic says, "Hey Dan, can't wait for you to review the final season." Yeah, me either. Epic. If Dan loves season three so far, he's gonna he's gonna lose it in season four. Like season four is like a lot times better than season three. Like just a lot. It's just crazy. Like I can't wait for Dan to get to that because the cast in season four is amazing. The choices actually like matter. I love it. Dan says, "I know, right? I'm getting so close now." Yeah, Dan, I cannot wait. It's sad that this series is almost coming to an end. Your series, for reviewing the Telltale games. And you say, "I heard it's amazing." Yeah, Dan, season four it's up there with season one as far as how good it is. Dan says, again, they treat Clem like a new character in season three. At at least at first. Yeah, I mean, it's just still kind of weird to me, just a way to bring back Clem, and she, no matter what choice you make in the first two seasons, she acts like this, and you only get to play as her in the flashbacks, and that's kind of weird. I don't know, Dan. Do you want me to tell you what happens to Jane? Do you want me to tell you what happened to Jane in my story? Because or do you want to see that for yourself? Just let me know. So anyway, Javier and Clementine wake up, and oh yeah, so what happened was, so Eleanor said that I can go with you to the junkyard for your family, but Tripp said to wait till the morning, and you get to choose who to bring, and I chose to bring Eleanor. This is one of the few times where I did not do what Clementine said because she said, bring Tripp, or trust Tripp. I trust him more. But I don't know. I chose Eleanor for obvious reasons. I'm just gonna say that. Let's see, and so we get to the junkyard, and we find Kate, Gabe, and Mariana, and there was this weird option to kiss Kate. Like, did you guys see that? And obviously, I chose not to do it because she is, Javier, my character's sister-in-law. So yeah, and oh yeah, and did you escape with the family or stay with Clem? So after Mariana died, I actually chose to escape with the family. I actually chose that. I know it's weird, but I chose that. Just because I don't know, it gives me a better it's a better episode two beginning, I think. Let's see. Epic says, yeah, Telltale should have known better. They should have known that Clem is a mega beloved character, and nobody would sell her out. Yeah, exactly. It is kind of funny, like if if Javier had the choice to save either his nephew Gabe or Clementine, everyone would choose Clementine, and it would be like, Javier, why'd you choose this girl you just met over your own nephew? And it's like, I don't know, something just made me do it. Dan says, you can tell me what happened to Jane. I didn't like her anyway. Okay, Dan, I will. So at the end of episode two, after I chose to save Jane from Kenny, there was his family. They begged to be let in. They were starving, hungry, and they had nowhere to go. So we chose to let them in. And then as soon as we get to the Clementine flashback, Clementine she gets okay, so she's with Jane and AJ, and apparently the family I let in, apparently they're gone. Like they took half the food overnight and just left. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, come on, that's just terrible. And then Jane says that she's not feeling well. And and that she's going to go inside, to Carver's community, go inside the building. And Clementine eventually comes later. She comes to Jane, holding AJ, and she starts knocking on the door. She doesn't hear anything, and then we see Jane has hanged herself, and Clementine, she steps on something and she picks it up, and it's a positive pregnancy tester, which means that which Jane was pregnant from Luke, and that Jane killed herself, because of that. And this just breaks Clementine, makes her cry, and we have the option of shooting Jane right then and there, or just leaving. So that was pretty much what happened, Dan. So yeah, it was just my flashback with Clem was just, there's so many things wrong with it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? That like the family betrayed us, and then Jane was pregnant from Luke, and then just killed herself. Like Jane is one of the, she cares about survival. You know what I mean? And the fact that she took her own life like that, I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I'll tell you, Dan, like Kenny's it's not better. It's gonna make you cry probably. Epic says, I'm sure Dan knows what happened because that flashback happens early in episode 1 or 2. It's early in episode 1. And Dan says she kills herself. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just the fact that so like the issue was that Telltale, like they didn't have the money, I'm willing to bet, or they were too cheap and decided instead of doing 2 different season 3s where you're with Kenny or you're with Jane, they decided to cut it short. They decided to kill off whoever you. They decided to kill off Jane for me. It's just it's so sad. And the fact that she was pregnant too, like just why? Like I hate that. Just Epic says, I'm sorry, but that was out of character for Jane to do that. Yeah, exactly, Epic. The same thing with Katja from season 1 shooting herself. And by the way, I'm just gonna say real quick. I have this amazing theory that Katja did not actually kill herself back in season 1. Kenny's wife, she didn't actually kill herself because I think it was the stranger that did it. The stranger in episode 5 that Lee or Clementine can kill. Like it had to have been him, and it wasn't confirmed. Like the writers, I don't think they confirmed that Katja killed herself, because her killing herself is also out of character, and the stranger was there on the train because he got to Savannah. He followed Lee's group to get revenge. He was on the train. He was probably somewhere in the back of the train, holding on. So it was Katja. Not Katja. Yeah, he killed Katja, I think. All these years I thought about it, and I actually told people about this, but they said some horrible things about me because they said I'm just going to say it. They said I was stupid and yeah, just really bad things. Like, but I shouldn't pay them any more attention. Dan says, really, that's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. It's so terrible what they do to Kenny and Jane. They decide to get rid of them, and it's bad. Epic says Kenny death is laughable, stupid. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's not great. Let's see. So back to the episode. All right, so back to the episode. All right, so oh yeah, I chose to go with my family. Okay, so episode 2. All right, so yeah. So the beginning of okay, wait. Oh, Epic says in season 3. I mean, yeah. Kenny is not really in season 3. It's just it's just sad what they do with him. It's disrespectful to the characters we saved, and it's bad. Let's see. How do you, oh yeah, so episode 2 ties that bind part 2. How did you deal with Kate and David's argument? Like I'm sorry. In the flashbacks, I hate, I don't know, like David is just, what do you guys think about David? Like um, Javier's older brother, because why is he like he's so tense? He's so angry towards Javier. You know what I mean? And I get it. Javier had some issues, in the past, but it's like even if you don't say something, he's like, "Oh, you're just judging me." It's like I didn't say anything. Um, and Kate, I don't know. Like I said, do you guys think that Kate is acting weird around Javier? Um, you know what I mean? Just also, you can tell there's a choice to tell David off, and it just goes so weird. Like Javier, instead of saying like you're a jerk, David, he instead says Kate is gonna leave you. Like, where did that come from? Um, let's see. Dan says once again, a choice that doesn't matter in the end because they both die anyway. Yeah, Dan. I'm sorry. It stinks. Like I mean, like I really don't know what Telltale was thinking. Maybe to save money. I don't know. Epic says, "Hey Brian, between Lee, Clem, or Joel, Ellie and Joel, which pair is better?" Um, I definitely like Lee and Clementine more, but I will say that um, okay, like Lee is definitely more of a he was definitely more of a father for Clem. Joel at the beginning, he was very non-caring towards Ellie, but he started caring. But still, like Joel was, he was a bit of a jerk. Let's be honest. But Lee was never like that. You know what I mean? Like Lee was good all the way through, especially depending on how you play him. And Epic, you say, hate him, couldn't stand him. David is awful. Yeah, David is just like, what is with him? He's just like, he just gets angry for every little thing. And like, even if you choose not to, even if you choose to stay out of it, David is just still like, I don't know, it's just not that great. Dan says, I like Joel and Ellie more. Really, Dan? Are you sure? Because like Lee and Clementine, their relationship is just so. I think it's the best father slash non daughter relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like a girl who's actually not his daughter. Like, you know what I mean? I think that Lee and Clementine's better because the way it begins and ends, it's just amazing. You know what I mean? Like what it does for Clementine, but for Joel and Ellie, now I mean, yes, Joel and Ellie, um, they're good. They're really tough. I would say Joel and Ellie are a lot tougher than Clem and Lee, especially back in season one. But I think as far as which relationship was more genuine, I think it was Lee and Clementine. All right, Dan. So in Epic, let me. I'm going to continue. Um, let's see. Where am I at the moment? Um, Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so we go back to Prescott, and how do we handle the new frontier? We can either open fire, surrender, or try to negotiate. I chose open fire because I saw the guy Badger, and you guys know he killed Mariana, and I really hated his guts. So yeah, I opened fire on him, and I tried to kill him, and I killed a good amount of his people, but somehow he escaped. And yeah, Dan says both are awesome though. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Joel and Ellie are awesome. Like, okay, yeah, they're awesome, but they're so focused on survival. Like, and I get that, that's important. But I like Lee and Clementine more just because of how genuine their relationship was. Let's see. Epic says like Lee took in Clementine because she had no one else, whereas Ellie it was like 14, and she could kind of take care of herself, whereas Clementine couldn't at that age. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Clementine would be dead if it wasn't for Lee many times, whereas Ellie, I'm not so sure. You know what I mean? Like, would she be? She would probably still be alive if Joel wasn't in. If she didn't really interact with Joel. I feel like that part, like, she might still be alive, but Clementine definitely not. Um, and that's what makes the relationship so nice. Epic says, like David, uh, wait a minute. Epic, I don't think you got to that yet. Yeah, Epic. I don't think Dan got to that yet. Dan's only at episode 1 and 2. But I don't like David that much. But we reunite with him at the end of episode two, because it's David. He's at the gate, and you say, yeah, I prefer Lee and Clem. Yeah, definitely. Um, let's see, and you say also Clem would be dead if it weren't for Chuck. If you think about it, yeah, that's true. That's very true. Um, and it is. Oh yeah. So okay, so we escaped the new frontier, and man, like the community Prescott, like we didn't know anything about it. Like that was so weird. Like I don't know, just in the thumbnail, like the community Prescott, like we just didn't get to see anything about it. The only thing the only thing we got from it was Trip, Eleanor, Conrad, and Francine. Like just those four characters, and they're not very like super interesting. Like I don't know, it's just funny when the New Frontier come to attack that, um, Clementine, Javier, Trip, and Conrad are on the top of the walls. Like seriously, you have a new person and a girl on top of the walls, but what the heck is everyone else doing? Like when Prescott fell, like we saw a bunch of we actually oh hold on, let's see, Dan says I actually didn't know that Dave AJ was with David. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, Dan. Epic. He wasn't supposed to say that. Um, let's see. But I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense because Clementine doesn't have like I will say yeah, like AJ at some point meets up, or David at some point interacts with AJ at some point. It's not exactly I guess in a way it's not really a spoiler because Clementine, she doesn't know where, or okay, Clementine, she's not like AJ is nowhere to be seen with Clementine, and you know what I mean, and she has the tattoo, um, of the New Frontier. So um, I guess like it's just a small thing, but yeah, I'm sorry, Dan, you weren't supposed to know that. Um, Epic says, man, they should have kept Chuck longer. I was okay with what they did with Chuck. And Dan says, now it makes sense that Clem was a part of a New Frontier group. I guess, kind of, Dan, but it still should have been a choice for us. And I didn't like that no matter what we do, it's not a choice. So yeah, anyway, Prescott falls. We didn't get to know anything about that community. Honestly, it was a pretty lame community if you guys think about it. Like I'd rather have lived in Oceanside, you know. That's how. Yeah. Okay, so Paul, or Jesus, as most people call him, we get to interact with him in the story, and um, yeah, so that was it's pretty interesting. Like, it's funny. Do you trust him? It's like, of course we're gonna trust him. Like most people have seen the show or the comic, and even though this is not the TV Paul, like everyone's gonna think it is, or they're gonna assume he's basically the same. So that's funny. Yeah, it's like the same thing with Clem. As soon as people see Paul Monroe, of course they're gonna trust him. It just I mean, it goes without saying. And I don't know. It's kind of weird, like interacting with Paul all of a sudden. Epic says, "Hey Brian, how do you feel about Conrad?" Um, like I felt bad for him that I chose to open fire and then Francine died. Like I felt bad for him, in that way. But he later, he pulled the gun out on Clementine and Gabe and Javier, and then was like, you know, we we can take Clementine and use her against the New Frontier or something like that, and because she's one of them, and it's like, um, no, like first off, that's a bad option, because she's not with them at the moment, so you should think about that. She's not with them. She fought them. It's pretty obvious that Clementine is no longer a member, and if they found her, they might kill her. So giving them to her is just, or giving her to them is a bad idea. And I chose to shoot Conrad. I chose to shoot Conrad just as fast as Daryl chose to shoot Morales. So yeah, I mean, as Daryl said, it don't matter, not one bit. Dan says the game always says that the game goes the way you play it, but it doesn't matter in the end, especially in season 3. So that saying doesn't apply at all. LOL. Yeah, Dan. They only say that to just drive up hype, I guess. Just to sort of say like, oh, this is a choice based game, but it's not. Um, and yeah, so I chose to trust Paul. And it's funny. Like Paul, he had his beanie hat and trench coat. He had a dummy. Did you guys notice that he had a dummy with the hat and trench coat? And then when he pulled a gun on Javier, he had the same thing. And it's like, wait a minute, like Paul, you wear two of those things? It's just I don't know. So like, it's just kind of weird. Um, yeah, Dan says, so happy Jesus is in it. At least I know Jesus is safe. Yeah, yeah, he's safe, Dan. Um, I don't know. It's weird though. Like you got to be like you when you see this, you have to be questioning. Okay, how is Paul here? Um, what is he doing right now? Where is this in terms of the timeline? Because like this would have to be before issue 127. Because Paul, he's the one who saves Magna and her group from the herd. So this has to be sometime before that. Like that's the only way it could work timeline wise. But like, what is he doing? Like the fact that he interacts with Clem and Javier, um, but yet we don't see Clementine or Javier in the comics. Like that still just bugs me. Let's see. Epic says, but yeah, in a way, Trip was a terrible leader because he just abandoned his community as it's being attacked. Um, yeah, I mean, kind of Epic. I agree. I don't know. Just it's weird. Trip did not feel like a leader. Um, like it's weird. Like yes, he was like the Abraham of the game, but he just didn't feel like the leader. Um, like he had Conrad and Eleanor, but like no one else like was there. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird. Like everyone else wasn't doing anything when the New Frontier attacked. They weren't doing anything. Like no one else was defending the place. There were people there. It just I don't know. It just bugs my mind. And then Trip, he takes Javier and Clem, who Clem has been here like one time before, and Javier is a newcomer who is just looking for his family. The same with Kate and Gabe. It's a little bit weird. That yeah, there should have been a moment where Trip like didn't want to leave or something. Wanted to save more people. I guess like Trip only cared about Eleanor. I guess you can make that argument. But it just bugs my mind. Like 4 or 5 years in the apocalypse, and you got like a small community like this, and not everyone can fight. Like, come on, it's weird. Dan says, yeah, don't tell me if he does, but I hope he says at some point, I need to get back home or say something about Hilltop or something. Yeah, Dan. Oh, and Epic. Yeah, let's not mention anything if that happens, whether or not that happens in the game. But Dan, I will say, in actually, I'm gonna ask this. Like he said, I'm pretty sure he said something about. Oh yeah, you said it was Wellington in your review, but he actually said something about the New Frontier. They took over New Richmond. You know what I mean? And I'm curious, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, how does he know that? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I don't know. That was a little bit weird. All right, so yeah, so like I chose to shoot Conrad, and by the way, Paul, he did some really awesome moves with those zombies. He did one where he did like the spin kick off the wall, and like he took like one walker and like by the hand and just like threw him to the ground, stepped on it. Like that was cool, man. We should have seen more of that in the TV show. So yeah, I chose to kill Conrad, and then so as far as getting into the Richmond, we came to the gates, and we had Kate. She was injured, and we basically, did that guy Max's demands. He said to, lay down your weapons and get on your knees, and I chose to do that. And yeah, Clementine also split up. Like she decided she can't be seen by them, so I'm glad she did that in a way. And then the gate opens, and then we see that it's David, Javier's brother, and it's just crazy. It's like whoa, um, like the fact that after 4 or 5 years, like Javier sees his brother again, and it's like, I actually thought he was dead. To be fair, when I played episode 1 and 2, I'm like, okay, Javier's brother is probably dead. But then he's like not, and I'm like, wait a minute, Javier, how did you not know your brother was still alive? You know, um, you were right there with him. In the you were both going to the hospital. I'm sure you were in different cars, but you were gonna follow each other. That was kind of weird. Um, let's see. Dan says, imagine if this was in the TV universe. If we saw TV show Jesus would have that would have been pathetic. Um, I think Tom Payne could have pulled it off, but they should have done more with him, with the actor. They should have given less time for Morgan in season 8, more time for Paul, and I don't know, some other characters. Some other characters didn't get the right screen time. Um, I'm trying to think who else. I kind of can't think of it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Episode 1 and 2 of season 3 of the Telltale game. Uh, I'll be honest with you. Like, looking back on these episodes, they're actually still pretty good. But my main gripe with them is obviously Clementine's not the main. Okay, obviously what they do in the flashbacks with Kenny and Jane, it's just atrocious what they do with those characters. Even if Jane's not an awesome character, she's kind of interesting, or at least was. And the fact that she does that, it's out of character. So I just don't understand why they did that. Um, let's see. Epic says, my opinion, comic Jesus is better than TV Jesus. He sucked in the show, too watered down. Yeah, I agree, Epic. They didn't give him the right screen time, and they should not have had him, um, you know, trying to save the saviors, I guess, because in the comic he didn't do that, So um, I don't know. That's just kind of weird. Um, wait. Dan says, yeah, Tom Payne was a great actor, but his character was disappointing. Um, and Epic says, hey, you get my comment? LOL. You're talking about, yeah, I think I got it, Epic. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss one. And Dan says, I do. Um, hmm. I do what? Uh, yeah, Dan, I'm sorry, when you say I do, what exactly are you talking about? Um, let's see. What else is there? So yeah, the characters in season 3, they're not terrible. They're not that great. Like Conrad is not that interesting. Eleanor, not too great. Um, wait, Epic, you say also in a way TV Jesus was too skinny. Yeah, honestly, I think he was a little bit too short. Tom Payne was a little bit short of an actor, but I still think that could have worked. But just the fact that like they didn't give him like any screen time in like season 7 and 8, like he barely did anything. That was just terrible. Like what they did to the actor. He deserved better. Um, let's see. So wow, guys. So um, I actually did. Man, that's crazy. So I actually did um, both episodes in just under 50 minutes, of season 3. And yeah, these were short episodes, right, Dan? Let's see. Dan says, I hate how the only person Jesus fought was Morgan. Like, come on, Gimple. Yeah, exactly, Dan. I don't think he killed a single savior in season 8. And Morgan, he killed like 20. Rick killed like 20 as well. Daryl killed, including when he crashed the truck in the sanctuary and probably killed some innocent man, women, and children. He probably killed a good amount too. So yeah, um, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It is a little bit weird. Oh, Dan, you say, yeah, they felt so short. Yeah, exactly. I played 2 episodes. It's funny. I played the first episode and I'm like, wait, that's it? And then I got right into the second episode because I think Telltale, like, they premiered both the first 2 episodes like at the same time. So I immediately got the first 2 episodes. So the thing about the graphics is, Dan, the graphics for season 3 are actually they're not bad. Clementine looks a little bit weird, but that's okay. But Jane, like Dan, if you type in The Walking Dead season 3 Jane, she looks terrible. Like she looks unbelievably like scary. You know what I mean? Like the graphics wise, and Kenny looks weird too. Um, just the fact, like, I don't know, they could have Telltale. They should have done a better job with that because that was just weird. Dan says, "Oh wait, no, epic." By the way, Fear season 5 finale cliffhanger, the worst cliffhanger I've seen in my life. It's as bad as the season 6 Negan cliffhanger. Yeah, absolutely agreed, epic. Like I'm willing to bet that Gimple decided, or the writers decided, to reuse the season 6 cliffhanger, but just change it up a little bit and have it be Morgan. Like that is so dumb. Like just why? I mean, it's so weird. I just don't understand it. Like, why do a cliffhanger like that? Um, like like I said, Epic. I'm pretty sure you were here, but like I said, the season 5 cliffhanger should have been Morgan. We see him bleeding out. He's hallucinating. The walkers are right on top of him. He's about to die, and the walkers are, like I said, they're right on top of him, and then all of a sudden, the walkers get killed, and we see a person's feet, like boots, and it pans over and it shows Sherry. Like that would have been so much better, and it just ends right then and there, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, Sherry saved Morgan," and what are they gonna do next? Like that would have been so much better. Dan says Morgan kills 20 saviors. Jesus saves about 40. That's TV show all out war for you. LOL. Yeah, Dan, as well as Rick and Negan playing tag around the tree, and Rick using his own son's death to get his enemy, like try and kill him. So yeah, I mean, just it's like what? Just come on, Gimple. Dan says after the stream, I'll check out Jane's death scene. Yeah, Dan, that would yeah, and sounds good. And if you check it out, please come back to the stream and just if you can say something like I checked it out and you were right, or just something like that, because Jane does not look the same at all from season 2 to season 3. Like she, just the modeling is so weird. Like how they changed the graphics, and I get it, the graphics change, but she looks like a completely different character. Dan says, "Love the Sherry idea. I'm picturing that right now." Yeah, exactly. I get goosebumps too, Dan, just thinking about it. Like, do you guys remember when Jim was bit in season 1 and he was hallucinating and sweating and just like you could do the same thing with Morgan. He's bleeding out and he thinks he's about to die, and like we're panicking. We're thinking this is it for Morgan. He's gonna die. The walkers are right on top of him, and then you show Sherry, killing the walkers, but we don't see it's her. Not yet, and all the walkers are dead, and Morgan just passes out. He doesn't even know it's Sherry, and then it pans over to her boots, and then it zooms up, and then we see it's Sherry, and that's how the season ends. I love that idea so much. Yeah, let me know, guys, if like you guys liked my rewrite for the season 8 mid-season finale Simon scene, the scene between Simon and Maggie, and you like this scene. Like, just let me know if you guys want to do more of this, where we talk about a scene we didn't like in either show, and I would talk about how it could have been fixed. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys want to start doing that more on my live streams? Because I really like that idea. Like, I like taking scenes that fans are confused at, or could have been like the scene could have been done better, and I just like fix that. Like just a few changes, and the scene is done. Things like the Carl death don't really work. Like I can't make that scene work, but you know what I mean. Like the scene still has to be mostly the same, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Epic says, "Me, I would have had Morgan be the season 8 death instead of Carl. Would have made more sense." Yeah, I agree. Epic. This way, Alicia, Madison, and Nick could still be, or maybe not Nick, but Madison and Alicia could still be the main characters in Fear. And you could have Dwight go into Fear the Walking Dead. You could have taken Dwight. You know what? Yeah, that's what they should have done in the beginning. Instead of Morgan, they should have had it be Dwight. After Daryl banishes Dwight, just have him be in season 4 or something, or season 5. They could have did the time skip, but I don't know, just anything like that would have worked better. And yeah, Carl would have been amazing to have in the show right now. He would have been so cool. He would have had the one eye. Maybe even Alpha would have liked him. You know what I mean? Like Carl has that missing eye. Like he's just showing it, looking at Alpha. Like I'm just picturing right now, like Alpha, Samantha Morton's Alpha, just looking at a 23-year-old Carl. Different actor, obviously, and she would. I don't know what would she say? Just like I don't know. It's just I get goosebumps thinking like what could happen. Dan says, I agree with that. Then we could get Carl in the show for longer and Fear could continue to be its own thing and normal. LOL. Yeah, guys. Yeah, Dan, I agree. And by the way, did you guys look into? Did you guys get a chance to look in the description yet of this stream? I gave shout outs to three channels that I like very much. These channels are amazing, and like I said, I highly recommend them. And if you guys have time, and like two of those channels, the Lego Walking Dead channels, they do like crossovers, but it's not like the way Fear is. Like for Fear, they do crossovers just to create hype, whereas like these guys who make Lego Walking Dead series, they do crossovers to add mystery, not to create hype. So I just wanted to point that out. Let's see. Dan says I'm gonna do a rewrite of season 7 probably by next week. Well, sounds good, Dan. I can't wait to watch it. But yeah, let me know. If you guys like that idea of me taking a scene in The Walking Dead or Fear and just doing a few changes, but still mostly the same thing happens. You know what I mean? But the scene is so much better. Um, let's see. Dan says I subscribe to two of the Walking Dead channels. They are awesome. Well, that's good to hear, Dan. Um, yeah, and like I said, the third channel. I know it's kind of surprising, but I really like the Storming Dragon. She's a great YouTuber, and like I like helping her out and watching her videos as well. It's just something new and exciting. Um, but let's see. Epic says, by the way, I find it a bit weird how season 3 is the first time we see horses in Telltale's The Walking Dead. Oh yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right, Epic, because um, there were no horses in season 1. There was the cow on the farm, but and then season 2, yeah, there were no horses in season 2. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call, Epic. Yeah, the horses. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, though, they probably died when Prescott was overrun. Dan says, kind of cool to see though. Um, what exactly are you talking about, Dan? I'm sorry, I'm not really sure which one you're referring to. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, Dan. I don't know what exactly you're talking about, um, but I'm sure I agree with you. Let's see. Oh, Dan says gives me season 3 vibes. Oh, season 9. Sorry. Oh, you mean the horses? Okay. Yeah, it kind of is, but unfortunately, the horses they probably died when Prescott was overrun. So that's one issue. Um, actually, like I mean, to be honest, Dan, I think that season 4 is it feels more like season 9 of the Walking Dead main show than season 3. You know, because there's this like freshness and other things involved in the story. Um, let's see. I don't know. Can you guys think of a scene from the Walking Dead show and Fear that the scene was just badly done, but if I could make a few changes, the scene would be so much better. But yet the same thing would happen because I'm just running out of things to talk about at the moment. Um, I don't know. I'm just I want to end the stream in 40 minutes when it hits 10 o'clock. Because I need to get ready for work. I have work tomorrow morning. Um, Unfortunately, so this stream has to be a little bit short. So I'm sorry about that. Just an hour and 40 minutes. Like, let's see. Dan says, "Rest in peace to what feels like the millionth horse." LOL. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Just horses, just they just do not last in The Walking Dead. Like, like seriously, like I said, Ken from season 9, the season 9 premiere, he has to be like the one character who has ever saved a horse in The Walking Dead. Like seriously, like it's just, what does that tell you? I mean, just everyone is terrible at saving horses, even Clementine, unfortunately. Like I just don't understand it. Epic says, but yeah, Fear could have been amazing if AMC put more love and effort into it. Yeah, I don't understand why they can't just get a second opinion on it, Epic. Like AMC, I don't get why they don't hire you, me, or Dan and just give us a script and we are picturing it in our head of how the scene will play out. And we would go, no, this scene's not going to work. You got to do these few changes, but the main thing will still happen. You know what I mean? Just something like that. Like seriously, like they need to get a second opinion from the fans. We're the ones who make the money. Epic says Tom's selfie death. Yeah, exactly. Tom's selfie death is just terrible. Like that is not good writing. That is atrocious writing. Dan says if you're a horse or a doctor in the show, I wish you good luck. Or if you're one of Carol's kids, or if you question Rick Grimes. But yeah, exactly. Dan, just wait a minute. I just realized something, Dan. Eleanor, she's the doctor character, right? You know what I mean? So, oh no, it's like, you think the Doctor Curse is gonna get her too, Dan? Let's see. You say Tom's death is so bad. Yeah, I don't understand that, Dan. Like, why was it so? I know why it was bad. Like, okay, do you guys want to think about how we could have made Tom's death even better? Like, have it make more sense. This is what I would have done. I would have had one of the kids get trapped on one of the sides of the bridge, like a kid trips or something, and Tom goes to get them, and one of the wires on the bridge snaps, and it like cuts off Tom's leg, and he collapses. They get the kid out, but the bridge collapses, and Tom dies. Like, you know what I mean? Just would you guys have liked that even better than what we gotten? Um, you know what I mean? Like, just let me know what you guys think about that. Just I'm sorry, I can't help it. I don't know why I like taking bad scenes from the shows. You know, Fear, Walking Dead, just giving it a second thought, making a small change, and just seeing. Do you guys think that would have been better? Let's see. Um, I will say that season 3, Clementine, it definitely helps season 3. She makes it more interesting. Um, let's see. Epic says it makes no sense for horses to die so easily by walkers. They are huge animals and they're strong. And in The Walking Dead, walkers pull them down like rag dolls. Yeah, I have that problem too. Epic. Like I said, well, actually, I don't know if I said this before, but do you guys remember when Shiva died? When yeah, yeah. I think I said this before. When Shiva got killed by the kingdom. No, no, not the kingdom. When Shiva got killed by the toxic radiation walkers, I had this idea in my head for like 2 3 years or around the time I've seen it, and like I said, I think it would have been better if instead Ezekiel was running from his people who turned, and he got trapped in the ditch and he can't get his feet out, and the walkers are right on top of him. His people, the walkers, and Shiva comes in and she is killing, eating his people who have become walkers, but they're fresh, you know, their bones, everything. It's much stronger. Um, and then maybe Shiva also has like a bullet on her side because she got shot by one of the saviors but didn't die, and that's how Shiva dies. You know what I mean? She's in a weakened state, and the walkers are fresh. That would have made it so much more realistic. And like I said, I think I've said that before, but let me know what you guys think of that scene. Um, about my redone Tom death, about my redone Shiva death. Like, what do you guys think about my version of those two deaths? Do you guys think they're a lot better? That they should have done it? Because I mean, I have a feeling you guys are gonna say it. I don't mean to sound prideful or anything. Um, like I said, I really don't think I'll make a great writer, but I think I can definitely like just change a script and make it amazing. Dan says she's gonna die real soon. I just know it. Oh, oh yeah, you're talking about Eleanor. Epic says that also made no sense. Tigers are full of power, and weak walkers easily kill her. Yeah, Epic. Like I said, just Gimple's writing. Just he doesn't do it in a realistic way. And like I said, if he could have just, um, just got a second opinion from a fan like me, I would have probably just taken that scene and just did what I said, and that would have made it a lot more realistic. Dan says, either way, Shiva dying is terrible, but your version is definitely better because I hated her death so much. Well, thank you for saying that, Dan. Yeah. Oh, wait, you hated. Oh, yeah, you hated her death. Yeah, Shiva dying, it's so sad. Just animals dying in general, it's pretty sad. I just, um, it's just bad when things like that happen. But like, at least, I mean, it had to happen for the story, but they could have done it just in a realistic way. It wouldn't have been that hard. Um, by the way, I wonder where Megamat and Eastside Badger are. Do you guys know where they might be? I think Megamat is doing I think he's like filming season 2 of his show, right? Um, but yeah, I was hoping that we would have more people tonight. Um, yeah, I really want to try and make it to 10 o'clock, but I think we can. You guys think we could make it to 10? I think so. It's just not going to be easy. But thank you guys. Thanks Dan and Epic for a whole hour of just sticking with me. I appreciate it. Epic says, I just don't get it. Breaking Bad, they clearly put a ton of money into it, but their mega show, The Walking Dead, they don't. Um, I think it's because Epic that Breaking Bad is owned by a couple of networks, and they each decide to put their own money. But as far as the AMC, I think they decided not to put enough. And I will say, Epic, the budget is not just an issue for The Walking Dead season 7 and 8. Like the death of Shiva, that's not a budget issue. That's just a terrible writing issue. Like I said, my version, it wouldn't have costed. It would have My version of Shiva's death would have costed just the same as what Gimple did, and it would have been more realistic. You know what I mean? Dan says, yeah, he's filming season 2 premiere of Survival of the Fittest right now. At least I think. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think. Okay, so what do you guys want to talk about now? I know the world has been going kind of crazy right now. Um, I'm not really. I don't really want to talk about politics, but yeah, things have been kind of crazy right now. Um, I hope you guys are staying safe. There's a lot of issues right now going on in the world. May may God have mercy on us, because things are just going crazy. Dan says, I actually finished Breaking Bad. I think it's the third best show after Walking Dead and Stranger Things. Um, yeah, I miss Stranger Things. I hope season 4 comes soon. I miss Stranger Things. Yeah, I can't wait for season 4. Let's see. Hold on, guys. I gotta turn on the light. It's pitch black in my room, so I need some light. Dan, you say 2020 is insanely bad. Yeah, it has been pretty bad, Dan. I mean, there are some pros. Those 3 channels I recommended in the description. They're still they're still making really good content, and then it really brightens up my day. And my brother got engaged, so there's some pros to it. But unfortunately, until COVID ends, we can't have the wedding. And this whole thing with I mean, Deadwalker 777 sent me a video about justice for George Floyd, and all I'm gonna say is the police officers were 100% in the wrong, and he deserves justice. But however, the people who are rioting and looting, they should not be doing that. I'm just gonna say that. Um, they're taking an injustice and just doing more injustice. Like I mean, Daenerys in season 3, I think it was like season 3. She said a very good quote. You should answer injustice with justice. You shouldn't if there's injustice in the world, you should not do more injustice. It's just going to make the problem worse. Sorry, guys. I don't want to talk about that anymore. And I won't if you guys don't want to. Epic says it's just unfortunate when this show first started. I was wanting it to be amazing all the way through. Yeah, I'm sorry, Epic. It's the same with all the shows. Walking Dead, Fear, Stranger Things. I mean, I think Stranger Things is very close, but even season 3 had some issues. Season 3 was just so short. Let's see, and you say The Walking Dead is like Star Wars, half bad and half great stuff. Yeah, that's true. Um, let's see. What else is there? I really wish I can think about a topic. Okay, guys. What was? Can you guys think of a really bad scene in the Fear or the Walking Dead main show? A badly written scene. Um, Dan says, "Yeah, George's death was so uncalled for." Period. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Law enforcement is it's still a big issue in this country. Um, this it's a problem. Police brutality is a serious issue in the world, in the U.S., and they gotta fix it. Like, all the officers involved should be obviously removed of their title and imprisoned, and justice should be given to George and his family. It won't bring him back, but hopefully we can prevent things like this happening, because the death of one innocent man is now terrorizing a whole country. You know what I mean? Like, this country is in big trouble now. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's because of those officers. So yeah, so much for protect and serve. Sorry, it just yeah, it's just bad right now. Dan says I gave up on Star Wars a few years back. The same, Dan. I stopped liking Star Wars. I saw the 2015 episode 7, I think. Episode 7 of Star Wars, and that was pretty much it. I'm just not a big Star Wars fan. Epic says, I've seen season 1 of Stranger Things. It was incredible. Yeah, season 1 is amazing. Season 2, my cousin Matthew, he's actually married. And he got married last year, and he actually got me into Stranger Things. But I don't know if he's still doing it. Dan says, keep going, Epic. It gets better and better. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, definitely. Season 3 is I don't know, it's a little bit too short. That's one flaw I have with it. But season 2 is really good. Let's see. I'm trying to think of something. Okay, man, I can't think of a bad scene in Fear in the Walking Dead main show that I could change, and yet still the same thing happens. You know what I mean? Um, I'm trying to think about that, but I'm having a hard time thinking about a scene. Okay, so Tom's death, Shiva's death. Um, oh yeah, and Neil's death. Man, a lot of these are deaths. Yeah, but I can't do Carl's death. I don't think I could ever have that make sense. It has to be something that technically did happen in the story, and I would, change some things and add some things to fix it, but overall the same things happens. Um, Epic says Mike was my favorite in Stranger Things. Uh, yeah, something like that. Dan says anything when Martha was bad. LOL. Oh yeah, you're talking about Fear. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dan. I don't think I can fix any scene involving Martha in Fear in the second half of season 4. Um, that might be out of my hands. Like, just her as a villain in general. She just doesn't work as a villain. They could have brought back Proctor John. Like, come on. Epic says I changed Tom's selfie death. It was so dumb and pathetic. Yeah, exactly. Agreed, Epic. 100%. Like I said, my version, I don't. It took me 2 seconds to think about it. Just have a kid trip on the bridge. Tom goes to get the kid, save him. He does it, but one of the cables snaps on the bridge, and it cuts his leg off. And you just have it where he's stuck on the bridge, and they can't get to him in time, and he falls and dies. Like, just come on. It's not even that hard. Dan said Dustin and Eleven are my favorite from the kids, but Hopper is the best character in my opinion. Um, yeah, something like that, Dan. I don't know if I have a favorite character in Stranger Things. They're all just like really good characters, and that's how you write kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in Fear season 5, the kids were just horribly written. They were so boring and dull and just not interesting. My goodness, they should have taken notes from Stranger Things because all the kids in that show just are so interesting, relatable. That's how you do a show with kids, you know. And it's crazy. It stinks that Stranger Things is I don't know. Who knows? Season 4 might be the final season. I mean, it could be. Epic says, I fixed Martha by getting rid of her dumb, strong philosophy. That was so annoying. Yeah, I agreed, Epic. Or I agree, because I can't fix Martha. There's no way to fix her, who she is. The character just, she's all bad. I like. I don't think I can fix any scene that she's in. You know what I mean? Just it doesn't really work for me. Um, let's see. There's gotta be something though. There has to be a scene, um, or like something that we can actually fix. Like because obviously, yeah. Let's not talk about Martha because Martha does not work as a character and as a villain. So every scene with her cannot be fixed. Like unfortunately, like I'm not a miracle worker, guys. So I can't fix every scene that she's involved in unless we get rid of her completely. So I don't know. There's got to be a scene that would work. Um, let's see. Dan says I would have just cute her out of the show completely. That's simple. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Yeah, cut. But yeah, they Martha just should have been cut from the show completely. She's just not interesting, not a good villain. Yeah, I completely agree. Let's see. But there's got to be something. I'm just trying to think. There has to be something that we can fix about fear, like besides getting rid of a character. Epic says like the kids having the treehouse in Fear season 5. That was beyond ridiculous. Uh, yeah, that was ridiculous too. Epic. Those kids, first off, they were terrible characters, and I don't get it. Like, how many kids were there? Like when Alicia, when we met them, they were like, and first off, they did the whole the walker barricades with the walkers and the guts, and then they decided to make them weak kids. Like, what was that about? I thought they were gonna be like psycho kids, like villains, but no, they decided not to do that. I don't know. That probably would have been even more interesting than what we got. Dan says I would have kept Madison as well. Kim wanted to stay longer. I could tell she was upset. Yeah, that stinks, Dan. I would have done the same. I would have kept her around, and I would have done so much more with the actress. I would have actually had her be interesting and relatable, and I would have done it where, you know what, we could just talk about how we would have written Fear season 4 and season 5 if you guys want. We have about 23 more minutes now before my stream ends, but yeah, we can talk about that. Dan says, hopefully the world beyond kids will be better. Nah, probably not. LOL. Yeah, also, like, I still don't know. Are they kids or are they college students? Like, I don't know. Um, yeah, I just don't know because I thought like there's a college in the story, but I'm like the kids look kind of young though. Epic says, by the way, I wonder what happened to Winnie from season 9 of The Walking Dead. Yeah, Winnie. Let's just go with dead. Epic. Let's just get out of the way and just say dead. I don't think Winnie is alive. It's been like, yeah, AJ is like not sorry. Um, RJ is like 6, so it's been 6 years. So yeah, Winnie's dead. She's got to be. She was by herself. There was no way she could have survived. She's just probably dead. And I know you don't say dead unless you see a body, but I really don't think they're gonna bring that character back. Just like the hospital group, it's better to just say dead and just move on. Um, but yeah, so Fear season 4, they should have had Daniel, and they should have had Madison. Um, oh, you know what? I just thought about this, guys. So do you remember the part where? Okay, do you guys remember the part where Alicia is trying to kill Althea? Hold on, Dan says Winnie will be the next villain in Fear. At this point, Fear would be something that's ridiculous. It already is, Dan. It already is ridiculous. But yeah. So I just thought about this. Well, actually, before like a while ago, but I just thought about this that What they should have done in Fear season four, like I said, I think they should have done like a storyline where Alicia had, Alicia got pregnant from Jake, and um, she thought her, she thought her child was dead, or her son, whatever, and she would also think that Madison is dead. So I would have like the first half of season four, Alicia be like brutal. She's angry, and then like I would have Alicia when she's about to kill Althea. Alicia finds a tape, and it says something like mad and like Jace or something like that, or Jace. Like let's say that's her son's name, and she takes the tape, put it in the camera, and she sees that Alicia would see that her mother, Madison, and her son are still alive, because like after she got separated from the baseball stadium, Althea ran into Madison, and let's just say her son, and then they went on their way. So like this would be the part where um, like Alicia thought her mother was dead, her son was dead. You know what I mean? She thought that when the baseball stadium fell, but she would see that no, they're alive. You know what I mean? And that's I don't know. I just that's just one also other way I would have fixed the second half or the first half of season four of Fear. The whole Madison thing just did not work. Like the killing her off, and this would also give Alicia hope in the second half of season four. And her goal would not be it wouldn't be helping people. You know what I mean? It would be finding her mom and, like I said, in my version, her son. Because I feel like the reason I have Alicia get pregnant is just uh, there needs to be something from season three that matters into season four, and I think that um, if Jake and Alicia had, you know they did have a relationship, so if she got pregnant and she had the son and he's missing, she thought he was dead. Like I said, I just think that would have been better. Epic says the way I would have rewrote Fear season four was keep Madison alive, scrap Martha, bring Proctor John in the main antagonist. I keep Nick's death and have Madison have a grudge on Charlie. Yeah, Epic, that sounds absolutely perfect. Just all of that sounds great. Absolutely, that would have been amazing. Yeah, I mean, just it looks perfect. Dan says, get rid of the filter as well. We don't need it whatsoever. And Dan says, I think Madison would have made Charlie look at the flowers. Yeah, agree, Dan. And you say Alicia get pregnant would have been awesome. Um, yeah, I think in a way, I think it would have added something. It would have had something to do with season three. Uh, so that way, it would be like, oh, season three actually carries on into season four. It would give Alicia like the character purpose. Obviously she wouldn't be painting trees and stuff. No, she would try to look for her mother and her son, and that would be her driving force. You know what I mean? Finding the rest of her family, and yeah, just plus that would have brought in a lot of people. A lot of people would like Alicia, and obviously it's a kid, so why not? Um, I think it would have like brought in viewers. Just plus you could have like the son eventually become a character like Judith. You know what I mean? Over time, and he would obviously like not know who his father is. Um, and that could have been an interesting story. I don't know, just like, and that would have added something too, like in the flashbacks. We could see Nick being like an uncle. They could have added that more. Because like Nick, like he was just all he did in the flashbacks was just talk to Charlie, and they could have added a little bit more. But yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, I think they should have done that. They should have, had some kind of purpose to the Alicia and Jake relationship in season three. Honestly, it felt like it had no purpose. This would have been so much better. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we could talk some more of how we would rewrite Fear season four, season five. You guys can use my ideas if you want, or you can use your own. We're all cool, we're cool like that. Let's see. Dan says, I wish Nick would have stayed in the show because he was such a fan favorite. Also, because I liked what they were doing with him and Morgan. Yeah, I mean, me too, Dan, but I will say that Nick's death, it's one of the best deaths in Fear that I've seen. You know what I mean? Travis's death made no sense. Ophelia's death made no sense. Troy's death made no sense. Um, but yeah, um, but like Nick's death, like man, I love that death so much. Just how they did it. Um, just it was amazing. Um, but the actor wanted to leave, so you can't really force him to stay. Epic says also instead of the selfie death, I would have had Tom go out a hero like his sister was surrounded by walkers. Tom does something heroic, and the walkers go after him, and he gets devoured. Yeah, something like that. Epic, absolutely. Yeah, like Dan. If you have an idea, like we would love to hear it. But yeah, like just Tom's death. A lot of deaths in Fear in the main show just could have been fixed if you just changed it up a little bit. Um, and Yusea and his sister is devastated, or is watching in horror and is devastated. Yeah, I agree. Epic. I mean, like it's The Walking Dead, and yet the only characters that died in season 5 was Tom from a selfie death and like Dwight's horse. You know what I mean? Just like come on, Fear. Like where is the fear? It's just it's pretty pathetic. It's just it needs more. By the way, guys, this month in June, I'm gonna try. I really am hoping I can get up to 40 subscribers. I only need 3 more subscribers to get to 40, and after that, hopefully, I can start making. Well, first I gotta make DeRosa a monitor, but after that, I can make you guys too if you want. Dan says, "Don't get me wrong. I liked how shocking his death was, but it just made me feel so annoyed the first time I saw it." Um, yeah, I kind of understand that, Dan. I guess um, yeah. I mean, I guess if you found it annoying, personally, I didn't find it annoying. I guess it was because it was Charlie. Maybe you found it annoying, but I think the death works very well. I don't know. Just as far as like deaths in Fear, I think Nick's is one of the best done. Uh, so yeah. Um, yep. What else is there? Sorry guys, I'm just kind of rambling, I suppose, at the moment. I don't really know what to do right now. Man, it is hot today. It was really hot today. I don't know what in the world is going on. It's already summer. Yeah, Nick's death was very shocking. It wasn't like spoiled for me, like that's what made it so shocking. Fear doesn't have spoilers, but I guess that's because no one wants to spoil Fear. But um, I don't know, just I mean, Nick's death, I think it was kind of perfect the way they did it. Epic says it's funny we come up with better ideas than a multi-million-dollar company. Yeah, I agree, Epic. I don't know, is AMC $1 billion or is it close? But yeah, absolutely, Epic. It's funny. We just take some time, consider what a fan would actually like more, and it's so much better. Like, just I don't understand why. Yeah, exactly. Like, we have such great ideas. Like your guys' ideas is amazing, and I like to think mine are really good as well. Dan says I would have had Madison, Alicia, then Morgan as the 3 lead characters. I think people would have liked that. Yeah, I think so too, Dan. Um, like, okay, like they should stop splitting up the characters, but they need to keep characters separate sometimes. So what I mean by that is, in my version, if Alicia found out that her son and her mother Madison were alive, I would have her looking for them throughout the entire second half of season 4, and I would eventually have Madison reunite, but it would take a while. Like it might be like a season or something. You know what I mean? And I would have like Madison joining up her own group. Um, maybe she meets Daniel again. Like just all these little things. Like I would do it like Game of Thrones, where you have more than one group of survivors that we follow their perspective. Dan says they need to listen to the fans. Yeah, I absolutely agree, Dan. I mean, it's just crazy how we can just come up with better ideas than the writers. Just and yeah, like I mean, like I said, I struggle with writing, but just all it takes is a few seconds fixing a scene, and the scene works so much better. Epic says also AMC they suck at picking showrunners, and Dan says facts. I think they did a pretty good job with Angela Kang, but yeah. So like Greg Nicotero, he was good. He was a good showrunner, and Glenn Mazzaro in he wasn't wait, was he in season 2? Or was that season 3? I'm sorry, I'm starting to forget. But I will say that Gimple was a really good showrunner for season 4 and 5. Season 5 had some issues though. But season 6 had a lot of issues, but a lot of good moments from the comics, so they kind of evened out. And then Gimple just ruined all the awesome moments from the comics, pretty much. I guess except for Glenn and Abraham's death, but even that, in my personal opinion, was kind of ruined. It was spoiled, and they didn't have to do the double deaths. Oh yeah, and I remember talking about that with Dan for his 10 things I hate about season 7, and I cannot stand, even with season 5, I could not stand Gimple doing all those double deaths. Like, he didn't have to kill off Noah, he didn't have to kill off Glenn, he didn't have to kill off Olivia, he didn't have to kill off Benjamin. Just what is with Gimple killing off, an extra character in that scene? In a certain situation. Like, just why? I don't understand it. Like, there's so many reasons why I can explain why each person should not have died there. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's bad. It's bad writing. Let's see. Yeah, guys, we're going to end the stream in about 9-10 minutes. So like I said, guys, if you haven't checked out all 3 of those channels that I put in the description, I highly, highly recommend that you give them a chance. And I know that the third one, the Storming Dragon, it's not based on Walking Dead, but I really like her, her animation and her PMV series. I really like her. She's a good friend, and I support her when I can. And I try to support Aaron and Official Brixes as well, but they got a lot of support as well. And but yeah, I'm just gonna say that even though she doesn't do Walking Dead, it's something new and exciting that I like. Let's see. Epic says, like, for Fear, they chose the 2 worst showrunners, aka Andy and Ian. Yeah, they're terrible showrunners. Dan says the double deaths are so frustrating and honestly pointless. Yeah, exactly, Dan. They're so pointless because I don't understand what the purpose is. Noah's death had no purpose, and the group did not need to lose one more person. They lost Tyrese just not that long ago. What was the point? Plus, Beth died so that Noah could live, be free. Why did that happen? Glenn's death hurt the show so much. Why kill off Olivia? And Benjamin, he could have been a character that is still alive now. They could have had him really come into his own as a character, but just why? I don't know. It's so ridiculous. Epic says they need to quit doing double deaths. It's not working. It's hurting the show. Yeah, I agree, Epic. And not just that, just like it takes away what people see as the big death. Like, you know what I mean? Just when Glenn and Abraham died, no one thought about or hardly anyone thought about Abraham. They were so focused on Glenn. And for Benjamin, he died, and then and then Richard lived, and then he died again. So, like, what was the point? And as far as Spencer and Olivia, just why kill those 2 characters? I mean, sorry, Spencer, yes, I get it, but why kill those 2 characters at the same time? You know what I mean? Because I just don't understand it. Like, what was the point of Olivia dying? Spencer, that was the scene we wanted to see. But when you kill off Olivia, then it's like, wait a minute, now you're taking away from Spencer's death. You can't do that. Spencer's death should be the main focus in that scene. Dan says, by the way, I would recommend Duo Reacts as well. They have great videos. Well, thank you for the recommendation, Dan. I appreciate it. And you say Benjamin's death was too predictable, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Dan. As soon as Jared pointed the gun in a different direction and shot, and then it went to black, I'm like, oh no, Benjamin got shot. It's just so predictable because you know that it wasn't Richard. He was right in front of him. And also, it's so out of character even for a terrible person like Jared because he wanted to kill Richard. Why doesn't he do it? He has the permission. He wanted to do it the first chance he got, and now he has that chance, and he doesn't do it. Just why? That's horrible writing. Epic says that's why I don't get is AMC care about ratings. Yeah, they keep killing off fan favorites uh, that keep ratings up. Yeah, exactly. Epic. Even minor characters like Connie or Benjamin, like even small characters like that, like Gimple. If Gimple was writing it, he probably would have killed off Connie, in season 9. You know what I mean? He probably would have had her be one of the Pike deaths. And like you don't do that. You okay? Listen, I get it in The Walking Dead, no one is safe, but you got to keep some fan favorites around a little bit. Certain ones because the show needs those fan favorites. The audience wants people to relate to. If they kill off Dog, Jerry, Connie, like that's you're gonna lose a lot of fans. Like I just guarantee it. Dan says that's why they better keep up Jerry. Oh, keep Jerry. Why did I say keep up? Epic says Glenn kept a huge chunk of the ratings up and they killed him off. Why AMC? Yeah, it was such a mistake. Like, people who watch The Walking Dead, they're guys from 18 to like 25, and that's the target audience for AMC. Young guys, late teens, early mid 20s, and that's who Glenn is. He's a young, relatable survivor. Had such great character development from like not really killing to killing, and he had so much more story left about being a husband and father. And then they just killed him off. Like why? And they did it so only for shock value. Like Abraham's death would have been enough, and I know that Eastside Badger doesn't think so. I believe, but I disagree. I think that Abraham's death would have been enough, and yeah, I think that Abraham's death honestly just would have been enough, for Negan at that time. But then they could have had like Morgan or Abraham die in All Out War. Dan says, I can't understand why the ratings didn't go down after 603, thank you, but so many people quitting after 701, like, I just don't get that. Only few people actually thought he survived. Yeah, I don't know either, Dan. Like, we thought that Glenn died, in 603, but I don't know. Maybe it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. Maybe because people had a feeling he was still alive. I know it's weird, but maybe they did. But yeah, for 701, it was probably also the cliffhanger too. Like, I'm willing to bet that the season 6 of Fear, the premiere of season 6 of Fear, is going to have really bad ratings. I have a feeling that the ratings are not going to do well for the premiere of Fear season 6. I'm willing to bet that's what's going to happen because I think people are not going to appreciate that Morgan cliffhanger. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to end it real soon. A couple more minutes, guys, and we got to end it. Next stream, hopefully we can talk about... Oh, actually, well, okay, so next stream, I guess I can talk about episode 3 and 4 of the Telltale game, season 3, and how we would fix certain parts of Fear in The Walking Dead. I don't know, if you guys can think of any topics, let me know, because I'm honestly kind of running out of topics. Epic says in season 7 and 8, it frustrated me seeing the show I grew up with get so bad. Yeah, the same, Epic. I put so much into The Walking Dead, and the fact that this is where the story was leading it was just so disappointing. Dan says the ratings for Fear is going to be terrible this year. I'm calling it now. Yeah, Dan, I agree. The cliffhanger is probably not going to help the situation. I'm willing to bet. I don't know. Can you guys think of any topics for my next live stream? Because I really cannot think of any topics at the moment. I want to, but it's kind of hard to say. Let's see. YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Let's see. Dan says, do you guys think Fear will get a season 7? I doubt it, Dan. I would say probably not. I do not see a season 7 of Fear happening. I think it's season 6 is probably going to be the last season, especially with the whole COVID thing going on and AMC having to delay things. Epic says, I'm really hoping Fear doesn't get a season 7. I'll be furious if it gets a season 7. Yeah, I will too, Epic. I don't think it will. I'm willing to bet it doesn't. Even the main show is having trouble right now. They might have to cancel World Beyond after one season. You know what I mean? Because this whole COVID thing, we just don't know how it's going to turn out. But all right, guys, it's 10 o'clock right. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock right now. Thank you, Dan and Eastside. No, not Eastside Badger. Epic, for coming to my stream. I really appreciate it. You guys kept this stream going for an hour and 40 minutes now. Yep, we hit that mark. And yeah, I want to thank you guys so much. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for things to come. So yeah, sorry, I guess I'm kind of tired. Dan says, yeah, let's hope not. Yeah, I really hope Fear doesn't get a season 7. It's just not that good. Plus the ratings and the whole COVID thing, it's probably going to make things a lot worse for them. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming to the stream, and yeah. Oh, and Dan, oh wait, Dan says great stream. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Yeah, the next one might be next week, on Tuesday. So just exactly 7 days, if you guys want. Epic says Fear doesn't deserve a season 7. I absolutely agree. They should just end it at season 6 and have Alicia uh, and the other characters join in the movie or something. Honestly, I have no idea, but they should really just end it. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming to my stream. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there, guys, and yeah, guys, be safe because there's a lot of craziness going on, in America and well, in the world. I forgot, Dan, you're in Canada, but yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on right now. So yeah, you guys stay safe. And Epic says bye. See you next stream, bro. Well, bye, Epic. I'll see you next time. And yeah, and don't worry, we can still talk. After I finish the stream, we can still talk in the comments. But I got to get ready for work tomorrow morning. So I got some time before I have to go to sleep. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. And until next time, take care. Bye.